Success, they say, have a lot of friends, and that's why I have a lot of friends. And I'm sure you all missed me in the last edition. I did not show, but I'm here today and welcome you to another episode of The Gliders, where we're going to be talking about everything sports, because this is the season where we have the Nigerian Olympics, like we like to target, or what we call the National Sport Festival, where every state is gunning for success in Nigeria. I am Euphoria, and I have with me my guys in the studio who are, of course, buzzing to talk to you after an entire week. Last week was so much fun. I enjoyed the episode. I know you did, and of course, we'll bring you so much fun this week, this time around. And I'm going to be starting from asking the guys how their week was. My own week was hectic. I mean, I was flying from one city to the other, from one state to the other, but I'm here today. I'm sure Mikolo can relate, but let's start with Timothy. Timothy, how was your week? How was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was pretty chill. Wrote some articles, watched football as usual. Then yesterday was dramatic because, the Syria, Inter Milan were leading. Parma was doing the job for them, but they could not capitalize and they drew the game. If they had won the game, they would have gone top to the final day. But of course, there's still one more game to go, so interesting. But of course, I have a question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yeah.
It's my show. I ask the questions here.
Ask this question.
But let me ask the question.
Okay.
Who did you miss on the show the last week?
Come on, get out. Come on, get out.
Don't pretend. Don't pretend.
Okay. Who did I miss?
Yeah.
I think I missed you because I saw the two of them on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw the two of them on Sunday. So.
Okay, so I'm the better person.
Political answer. She's trying not to hurt your feelings.
You are not a regular.
Oh,
He's regular. He's the regular.
I'm unknown. I'm useless. I'm useless among nations.
Well, how was your week?
I was hectic. I lost someone. Yeah, it's just everywhere. I was everywhere. Plenty of drama, estate, family. Well, I like to be calm. So I'm a chaos person. I'm Eden Hazard. I like chaos because chaos makes me appreciate life more. I mean, I'm not saying anybody should throw chaos at me, but so it was a good week because it was a week filled with chaos. It's a good week.
Okay, sorry for your loss, by the way.
Thank you.
Hope that God give you and your family the fortitude. Be
I already have the fortitude. I've been losing people since. I'm used to it.
Interested. Mikolo, how was your week? I think I know how your week partially
Trailer
went because
fell
I
on the
saw.
road.
I think we'll start with that. How was your Monday morning?
Monday morning, talking about please, Lagos.
Monday morning, trailer falling on the
Lagos,
road.
lesser than. I feel like people are already used to me posting that. I mean, woke up this morning and they're just telling me a trailer fell on the road since last night, and there was no sense of urgency. Keep people on the road early in the morning. If I was working for a bus, a rebel boss, I'll probably be getting my sack letter this morning. Thankfully, Joy is very benevolent. You understand?
I mean,
that as well.
It's what I do.
Because it was a crazy Monday, and I feel like it just wraps up what my weekend was basically. Chaotic weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday I was at the NWFL final match day, the Super Six, and it was really chaotic. Though I didn't have like my horse in the race, but I just felt like it was a really hectic one for the teams involved. The level of emotions that comes with football is something that you never get used to, because it could have gone either way on that day, and then it just eventually fell to Bayelsa Queens that Saturday. On Sunday, my club side, Sporting Lagos, NNL game against Kun Khalifat, another chaotic game, played out a draw, and it's looking really dicey with the playoffs and all of that. And if anybody, I hope I don't get a video of myself from that game, because I was basically like on the touchline for the whole 90 minutes, screaming my lungs out and all of that. It's a very
it happens when you're connected with a club, especially in the role you work in. Like there's no way
like
emotions will not come in. I don't think
please,
there's no way you
anything about this particular topic. Let's go back to
I don't have anything to say. I don't, because I've done my own madness. I've owned a club. I started owning clubs since I was 17, so I know how that drama. I don't judge people. When people were trolling Toby, my own comment was that you've not put your dime on a football club. You've not invested. You put your skin in it.
Screaming,
all
shouting,
those rules,
bending
all bets
down.
are off. Joy,
Yes,
I want to ask you a question. I know you normally do the asking.
How was your weekend?
Back in the day, no, not the weekend. Back in the day, I pride myself by saying I work 8 days in a 7 days week when I was working with Brilla FM. how do you rest? You are practically everywhere. You are in the studio here in Ikeja, you are in Ikene, you are in Abeokuta, you are in Magodo, you are in VI. How do you... I know that they say naturally women are built with this ability to
I'm not built,
multitask.
so don't hear that one.
Soft girl.
I'm a
She's
soft
not God's
babe.
strongest soldier,
I'm
please.
going through adulting. Don't worry. If I just win a lottery of $100 million like this now, you will not
Oh, you won't marry one
But
rich
for now
Alhaji.
that you've not won it,
Habibi. It's Habibi, Saudi Habibi. In case you're watching, I'm here. Come for me. But before he comes, let me answer his question. Well, I don't think I have been able to figure out a way to rest. I just think that sometimes I find time to rest. Like this week now, the National Sports Festival is on. I was at the opening ceremony yesterday, and of course I'm in Lagos.
now when you
this
say you're
morning.
the opening ceremony, people don't understand the distance. Let's walk kilometers here. Where did they do the opening ceremony? Is it in Ikeja
No,
here?
it was in Abeokuta yesterday. Okay, so I was on commentary duties at the NWFL Premiership Super 6 from Saturday the previous
Where?
week in Ikene,
Ikene.
from Saturday the previous week till Saturday last weekend, and in between there were other things like the NPFL trophy presentation and everything, so I worked. So Saturday ended
Yeah, there's a
Saturday
vlog on
night.
that, by the way.
Yes, there's a
Yeah.
vlog on that. You can check out
All
my-
our social media.
all our socials, but if you don't want to go to, just go to my at euphoria_sticks, and then we are all collaborated on it, so you can find it there. So I finished the NWFL finals that he talked about. We're going to talk about the drama that happened, so you understand why we're talking about it being chaotic. That Saturday there were 3 simultaneous games played at Remo Star Stadium, and each of those venues could have produced a champion. So yes,
Wow.
it was chaotic before the 90 minutes started, and all through the 90 minutes could here goes there, except the ones that were doing commentary on, we did not produce a single goal, but we had to actually do a goal rush. So once we're done with that, there was also a trophy presentation obviously, and of course we did all of that, did the stadium announcer and everything. Once I was done, that was Saturday night. Sunday morning, I woke up, I was thinking about my life, but I had to be at the opening for the National Sport Festival. So yes, I traveled to Abeokuta Sunday morning, went for the National Sport Festival, left in the
You
evening.
saw my idolo.
I didn't stay till the end. He came late. He came around.
Who's your
which is-
idolo?
That's Davido. Davido. I saw Asha when Asha was coming in, but I had to leave because I had to go make my hair. I left around 7. I was there from like 2.
You already missed the whole of the party. Why you
It's
leaving
a
around
party.
7?
I went for the athletes, not the party.
Good.
I'm
It
a
was all part
journalist.
of it now.
She's
I know it's
focused.
part
She's
of it.
so professional.
No, except you guys wanted me to miss today again. I couldn't miss you guys. I had missed you guys last week. I won't miss you guys again. So I had to go and come back. And then I'm back to Lagos this morning. Chaos Lagos, Mikolo's Lagos, less than Lagos.
Old Lagos, GJ's Lagos. Not my Lagos.
Less than Lagos. And I'll be leaving again today, going back to Abeokuta to continue the games. But I think I'll miss tomorrow's games because I need to rest. My body's already
You need that
He's
rest.
already asking me. So yes, well, I mean, we have to be here for you, and that's why we're here. And talking about club sides, that's where we're going to come from. Last week there was chaos in the studios because of they're talking about which team can pose a successful season, if it's going to be based on how steady your club side was.
That's why Man
during-
United got relegated in the NPFL.
okay, and all of that, if you can get success, if you can pose a successful season based on trophies or based on how well you performed during the season. And that was chaos last week. Now we're going to continue from, because the conversation continued, especially this weekend again over on social media, and people are still talking about it. So we're going to touch light on it a bit as we look forward to the games that will be happening this week, especially the Europa League finals, which is happening on Wednesday. So we're going to talk about it. And this is an interesting tweet that I saw where Twitter user Tunde Yogu is a colleague, said, I always refer to when Wigan won the FA Cup, got relegated in the same season. Which do you prefer? The club should have, if you were the club, which choice would you have taken? Is it to get relegated or to have won that FA Cup title? Take for instance, Crystal Palace won the FA Cup over the weekend. If they had the choice to pick winning that FA Cup title or not getting relegated, which do you think they would take? So I'll start from Timothy. Timothy, which do you think Crystal Palace would have picked? Or if you're a Crystal Palace fan, let's use that way. Crystal Palace fan, if you had to win the FA Cup against Man City, of course, the whole dauphin of getting to win a trophy and everything, beating a club as big as Man City in the finals, because you guys were definitely the underdog in that competition, or getting relegated, which one would you have picked?
Well,
Well, Sunshine's got relegated, so I understand you know where I'm coming from. So let's
nothing
go.
beats joy. Being honest here, nothing beats the euphoria of nothing
Oh.
beats you winning the winning a trophy, and it's the FA Cup. We know how big the FA Cup is in England, so I would rather pick winning. I'll pick the FA Cup, winning the FA Cup against a Manchester City side who is one of the best clubs in Europe. Let's forget that Man City are having a bad season or whatever. Manchester City, when you rank teams, you cannot leave Manchester City out of the top 5, and that's being honest in terms of what they've achieved. Even in England, the last decade, 15 to 2025, they've won 16 trophies. The person that comes close to them is Liverpool. Liverpool have won 8. So Manchester City have double of what Liverpool have won. And in those seasons, they've won the Champions League, they've won the Premier League, they've won the FA Cup, they've won the Carabao Cup, they've won the Club World Cup, they've won the Super Cup. So they've touched across everywhere. So if I beat a Manchester City and I win an FA Cup
And get relegated.
I would still cherish that moment. There's something that comes with winning a trophy. No matter what, the relegation is made for teams.
Okay.
Teams are relegated before they're promoted.
Okay.
And staying up is also meant for teams. Crystal Palace is not like they've gotten relegated anytime close, but
Okay.
there's always that place of we were close in 2016. We lost to Manchester United. In the late 90s too, they were also close. Then when you eventually win it, if Crystal Palace get relegated next season, I'm not sure that their fans will feel like. Of course, it's going to be painful, but like I always say, I say it when we are talking on the NPF. I say relegations are meant for teams, and that's why whenever everybody starts a 18-man league, whatever it is, everybody already know that these 2 sports, 4 sports, 3 sports is meant to be for some people. The other top sports is also meant to be for some people. So it is your work that determines where you finish in these positions. And if it comes to you, then it means that you did not do something right. Or if it comes well in the positive side, finishing top, it means that you also did something right. So taking the FA Cup above I'll take the FA Cup even though my team gets relegated, and that's Crystal Palace.
Okay, let me come
okay.
to Mikolo on this one. Now, that same tweet, the quoted tweet was Cerebroni. Cerebroni said something. We talked about Wigan winning 12 years ago. That's the FA Cup. They got relegated that same season. Now, Cerebroni said something. Twitter user Cerebroni said, and he's also a colleague. He said 12 years later, Wigan still haven't returned, by the way. They are now a mid-team club in the 3rd division. So they dropped from the 2nd to the 3rd division in that 12-year span. Mikolo, which are you picking?
All right, so for me, basically, I've said it before. One of the reasons why we have problem in sports generally.
Nicolo, don't divert.
No, I'm not that. Wait now,
Okay.
chill. One of the reasons
His
why
club doesn't
yes.
usually win trophies, so you can come from that side.
one of the reasons why that's a very cheap one. They don't usually win trophies. We have more Premier League than Chelsea. We have more trophies
I get
than
that for the
Chelsea.
property, but go
So
on.
please,
How many
don't
trophies
say-
have you won in the last 10 years?
Go. Don't worry, don't worry,
How many trophies have Liverpool won?
Liverpool have won 8 in the last 10 years.
How many Premier League have they won?
They've won
2.
2.
In
Let's
how many
go.
years?
In the last
In
10
the
years,
last
now. I
10
said 10 years now.
In the last 30 years, how many have they won?
2.
So
They
what are you saying?
generally.
So you just
Let's
basically-
go, let's
so
go.
what I want to say is that one of the reasons why we have issues in sports arguments and sports discussions is because people do not understand the point of having a grey area. People want to be either white or black, and that's not how it always goes. For clubs, there are different levels of club. There are different stages of being a club. Do you understand? So if you always pick trophies, there has to be instances where you have to choose processes. If you always choose processes, there are also times when you have to understand that what trophy does to a team.
To verify the process.
Yes, do you understand? So there is always a grey area. For example, Bologna celebrated qualifying to the Champions League, or I think qualifying back to the Serie A, and the whole city was filled up. For them, that is also a good season. Before they eventually won the Coppa Italia, where they now eventually celebrated. So for a team like Crystal Palace, some of their fans in 150 years or whatsoever year have not seen them win a trophy before. For them, winning a trophy is the highest level that they can get to at this point, because it's joy for them. Even under Tunde's tweet, you can see Wigan fans coming to say that they still remember that FA Cup win like it was yesterday. So for Wigan fans, it is absolutely normal for them that winning that trophy is the highlight of a whole generation for them. For Crystal Palace, it's also the highlight of a whole generation for them. But you cannot, because Crystal Palace and Wigan cherish FA Cup, cherish the Carling Cup, you cannot use that as a standard for every team. Every team has different standards of what success means to them.
Yeah.
For example, I don't think a Madrid team would finish 15th or 16th, win a Copa del Rey, and be proud of it. Do you understand? So there is always context to every issue, and this is my problem with chasing bangers on Twitter and chasing everything. Even Wigan fans would rather win the FA Cup than be 16th, 17th, 18th in the Premier League every season, and that's what some of their fans are saying. So for Wigan, they cannot compete for the Premier League. They cannot compete for a top 10 place in the Premier League. They're always going to be in that battle of relegation. So for them, if you're going to choose what is more memorable for them, being the slaughterhouse of the Premier League or winning the FA Cup, because it is Wigan, what they will choose is definitely the FA Cup.
Mikolo.
But if you are going to a team like Madrid, if you are coming to teams like Chelsea, coming to teams like, you cannot say any trophy is the definition of a successful
What do you mean
season.
by any trophy for the FA Cup? Mikolo, for what you are saying now, I'm going to tackle you. Okay, you are saying, I agree with you on
You
the
chose a side though.
No,
you chose a
yeah,
side.
she said Crystal Palace now. Even when I ended my statement, I said that's for Crystal Palace.
All right.
I like what you said. You have made your point. You have said,
Yes,
okay, for
grey
clubs,
areas, yes.
yeah, of course, for different clubs, the standard should be different because,
Yeah.
of course, if you're a big club, the standard should be different. But why do you think Arsenal is the main context here?
Don't bring. See,
Whoa.
so,
No,
so
let's-
another issue.
Okay,
that I
what-
have
what
with
is the main-
discussions
Why
is
must
that
Arsenal be the parallel for every analogy?
So this is another issue that I have with sport discussions. Is
Okay,
that
big
as a
clubs,
sport
big
lover,
clubs and
as
small
a sport
clubs.
lover, why is it that you feel like I cannot speak about an issue because I support a particular club?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yes,
From
why
what
you are bringing Arsenal?
from what
Right, so
from
let
what
me
Joy
hear
had
it.
said. She
Yes.
said we were coming off back the conversation and everything that was
Yes,
happening on
about
Twitter,
trophy
and it
being
was
definition
basically
of a
about
good
okay,
season.
Arsenal going trophyless and
Alright.
okay, maybe little of Manchester
let me hear
City.
you.
So I'm trying to say okay, Arsenal is the standard, or okay, big clubs are the standard.
Yes.
As a big club, Mikolo, if you play or if you work with a big club, what should define success for you? As a big club, when you say you're a big club, okay, I'm a big club.
He just highlighted it now with
Yes.
Madrid.
Yes.
He has mentioned Madrid.
Yes. Sustaining your level of competitiveness
Sustaining your level of competitiveness.
is number one there.
Okay,
And it's
then-
not just trophies. I'm telling you the fact. As a big club, sustaining that level of competitiveness is what defines a successful season. You cannot tell me that. I'm telling you Madrid, Barcelona, if you go a season and you finish 15th for Barcelona, what are you saying about winning? No matter the
Mikolo,
trophy
what do you
win.
mean by a table is 1 to 15? If
Yes.
I finish 17th in the La Liga, Mikolo, am I getting relegated?
No.
I'm not getting
But did
relegated.
you have a successful season going by Madrid and Barcelona standard? Are you regressing or progressing as a club?
Barcelona played in the Europa which year? Under Xavi. Barcelona played in the Europa League under Xavi. Manchester United.
Do you think they refer to that season as a progressive season?
Was that not
for
the season they
Barcelona?
won the league?
Do you?
Xavi came for a Barcelona side that could not spend money. That Xavi is that's why still today you see many
He's
Barcelona
respected,
fans,
yeah.
they feel like okay, this guy came, did not spend money, managed defense. They considered the least number of goals. They played in the Europa League. What do you mean by a team because they played in the Europa League? Although they won the league. What do you now mean by okay, you can't define it by success just because they played in the Europa League?
Progressive season
Okay.
and trophies. That's what we are discussing.
Okay,
now.
Mikolo, have Manchester City had a successful season this season?
We started from Bologna or Crystal Palace. Would you choose relegation or trophies?
Okay.
Yeah, no, answer me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For Crystal Palace or a small team, that's what I'm saying. For your context, you were trying to create context around okay for big teams.
You are using a different context entirely. Barcelona won the league. They are first in the league.
Mikolo.
A league of 20 teams. They didn't regress.
Did they finish? Mikolo, if I finish 1 to 17, so far I did not get relegated. There can be that standard of I did not get. Mikolo, let's forget. Okay, it's a big club. Yes,
For Barcelona and Real Madrid.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even using for a general.
You are not addressing this with the context that I started this with.
Okay.
I've told you before that for clubs, it is different standards. You do not now shift the table when it concerns like other clubs. I've told you for Crystal Palace, for clubs like Wigan, you can say, oh, this doesn't happen often. So my successful season can be defined by a trophy that could be the only one I'll win in 75 years, in 150 years. But if you're talking about big teams, progression is measured differently.
Okay, Mikolo, what is progression?
Progression is how competitive you are in the league. You cannot lose 27 games. You cannot lose 27 games in a 37-game season and say you are progressing as a team and have a successful season, irrespective of the trophy involved. You didn't even win the best trophy in Europe.
Mikolo, you said progression is being competitive
For different teams.
What does being competitive mean? when you say you want to compete, Edafe, if
Aha.
I joy,
If you
going
finish
to the
15 in the league,
Europe.
are you competitive?
Mikolo, calm down.
Wait. If you finish 15 in the league, are you competitive?
Mikolo, calm down.
Wait. Timothy, answer me. If you finish 15th or 16th in a league as one of the supposed biggest clubs in that league, do you have a successful season? Are you competitive?
Succeeded in not relegating.
Are you competitive?
Yeah,
Are you
did not-
progressive?
for that season, you did not
If you
compete.
finish 8th last season, you finish 16th this season, are you progressing as a team?
No.
So what are you saying? Why are you defining a
I think
big club
Timothy
by trophies?
Timothy is
By-
going on to shoot himself in the leg. So I'll leave. I'll
Let's
take.
fair.
I'm not shooting myself in the foot.
I'll take
You
the
kill yourself
conversation.
when you're arguing.
I'll take
There's
the
nothing to
conversation.
support it.
I'll
You
take
kill
conversation
yourself.
from you. So this is the week where we're going to have that final between 15 and 16. Or where are they now? The two of them.
16, 17.
16,
17.
17. Oh dear. Okay, so the two of them, they are going to face off in the Europa League finals,
Yeah.
and this is the season where we've been having those Cinderella stories for many teams that have been ending their trophy droughts.
It will not happen for Spurs if that's where you're going.
Yes, I wanted to ask, do you think this is the season? So yes, you think it will not happen for Spurs? You think that Manchester, and we also have to remember the fact that they've not beaten this Spurs side in about 4 meetings.
That's the reason why they will be there.
But they are missing players.
No, so let's put this thing into context. Spurs does not know how to win finals. That's one.
But Ange wins teams
Man
in the
United,
second
hold
season.
on, leave that one. That's the list. They say when the Pope die, English teams win Premier
Champions
League.
League,
When you host the Champions League finals in Munich,
Munich.
once it happened, Arsenal out of the competition. Let's put this thing in the context where it is. Spurs does not know how to win title. Ange or Postino or whatever his name is,
Hey.
post office or postage stamp. I've won titles in leagues that people without coaching certificate will win. Steven Gerrard won the league in Scotland. Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard won that league. He almost went unbeaten with a dead Rangers team. Went to the finals of the UEFA Europa Cup. So it's not a big deal that Ange won those things. Man United hardly lose in finals. If they've lost finals, there are not too many of them. Against Messi's Barcelona, very few. When Man United step into the finals, they win it. Even a dead Man United, FA Cup,
Won the
League
Europa in
Cup,
20.
Carabao
They
Cup,
even won the
Europa,
Europa
They beat Man
Champions
City last
League.
season.
That's who they are. They have a tradition, a
They were
history
struggling.
of
Imagine.
it. It's like
struggling,
Arsenal and the
Ten
FA
Hag,
Cup.
yes.
Bro, let me corroborate your story. Last season, they were
They're
struggling against
struggling.
Coventry
They
in the
played against
semi-final.
the biggest
They played against
team
Man City
in the
final
league
and
and won.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Tactically better. That team knows how to win. For banter's sake, we're saying things that we want to say, but when it comes to winning, this is analysis. I don't want Spurs to win it, but if Spurs are a team that comes across to me like, oh, they can win this thing, I will still say they win it. Just that Arsenal fans in the UK, they don't die finish. Robbie and his AFTV fans no go see space. But having said that, I think that going into the finals, let's not forget that this Spurs team have lost in this competition. Man United have not lost a single game in the competition. In games where you look like they are dead and buried, they even use the worst player in God's planet, the only player to have relegated 2 teams in one season, to go play attack, and he did way better than Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo da Lima, all put together to win them against is it Athletic Bilbao, is it Leon, that they played. I'm talking about Hammerhead Maguire. You called him a Brazilian.
Yes.
So when it comes to Man United playing in the finals, we might, like he said, they have regressed this season from the league, from the FA Cup, from the Carabao Cup, because they won the FA Cup last season. But when you look at what's going to happen on Wednesday, these are the stuffs that Man United are made of. In 1999, when Man United won the Champions League, they were one of the worst teams in the league in terms of how they played, but they won the treble. Why I said that, their goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel, was struggling all through the season. At the beginning of the season, Andy Cole was way useless. Then Dwight came in and gelled. And then you have that semi-finals where Roy Keane played the best football of his career and brought them back against Juventus. And then Paul Scholes picked up a yellow card, missed the final. Roy Keane picked up a yellow card, missed the final. In that finals, they were playing against one of the strongest teams in Bayern Munich. Playing with Nicky Botts and some players that shouldn't even be dressed to be on the bench. Guess what? They won it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham came off the bench and won it for Manchester United. And I've seen that happen over the years. The devil is really a disruptive element. And Manchester United are that team. So when they get into that place, the Red Devils are going to run over Spurs. I mean, Spurs fans can frown their face like monkey with lick climb. It's none of my business. I'm just saying it. I don't see Spurs with Angie, whatever the tactics is going to use. There's nobody in that team that is traditionally
players. I feel
good
Madison
to win. And then there'll be missing players.
Man
Man United, on the other hand, other players are coming back. They're ready, raring to go. They also know that Ineos is really looking to sack people. There's only one person in Man United that does not want Man United to win the Europa Cup. It is the Ineos guy, wasn't it?
Jim Ratcliffe.
Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe does not want Man United to win the Europa. What are my reasons? Even though it will bring them more bonuses from sponsors, they would have to pay Casemiro more. They have to double almost every player's salary and pay all those heavy bonuses. Again, somewhere in Spurs, Daniel Levy does not want Spurs to also win it because Daniel Levy is not a payer. He's a bet company that doesn't pay. It's not like Winners BETWGB. Daniel Levy will not want to pay you any special bonuses. That's the kind of guy that he is. If they win the Europa, he would have to pay Son Heung-min and everybody special bonus clause that is on their contract. So I think that, long story short, it's going to be Manchester United winning it again. And it's what they deserve. If you've gone a season unbeaten in a competition, you deserve to win it, in my opinion.
Yeah, talking about, you can definitely expect us to talk about this when we come back on the show for next week, talking about the winners. I'm sure that there will be, if either team that loses that final is in trouble. Anyhow,
I know.
Your Spurs cannot be in trouble now. How many Spurs fans won't?
The Spurs loses, they're used to it.
They are used to
Their
it,
tradition.
actually. But if Manchester United lose that final, I'm sure
Oh my God.
this particular seat will be hot when we come for the next edition. Talking about proven winners, known winners, Victor Osimhen is a winner again, and this time around he takes that to Turkey. Now that's not the news. The news is that or the conversation about around Victor Osimhen is, with everything happening leading to that final, him getting to score as many as 40 goals for them in all competitions, there's talks about him staying in Turkey. Remember when we started this show newly, we're talking about him either playing at Man United or playing at Arsenal or playing at Chelsea. Even talked about him playing at Chelsea. No, we talked about him if would he fit the Arsenal system.
No.
But right now the conversation is Victor Osimhen might get to play for Turkey. In Turkey, another season for Galatasaray. They might retain him. Remember, he's still on loan from Napoli. Now the question is, do you think that it's going to be a wise choice? I'll start from Idafe. Do you think it's a wise choice for Victor Osimhen to stay in Turkey?
I think it will be very sad to see Victor Osimhen at this pinnacle of his game, the peak of his powers, and it is the Turkish league that he's playing at. No matter the numbers that Mikolo would want to blind us with, Turkish league is playing in the Ghana Premier League, the GFA, the Ghana Football League. Turkish league does not follow in the map. As a matter of fact, in Turkey, some part of the league you are playing in Europe, some part you're playing in Asia, the worst part of Asia. That's just the truth. If you go play in Ankara, you're not in Europe anymore. If you go play in Karabakh or whatever they call their names, you're not. And having said that, Osimhen should know that next season it will be 27. Not too many people want to buy a player at 27 when the season, this season end is 26 already. He's going to go to 27 and everybody's going to be asking question, do we need him? So if he's got a good manager, the numbers that he's got in Turkey, as lowly rated as the Turkish league may be, those numbers are good enough for him to go play anywhere in Europe. I still think that Paris Saint-Germain needs a centre forward. I don't think Arsenal is a good fit for him. I don't know what Manchester United would do, but 12 million after tax is what he's asking for. Not too many clubs in England that be willing to pay. 2 or 3 seasons ago, I said that this transfer, Timothy will remember, I said it in our family WhatsApp group, that this transfer shoot up that everybody's having 120 million, 100 million signing will come down to the regular 50 to 75 million, and was experiencing it this time around. You've seen a player like Victor Gyökeres, nobody's even bold enough to mention 80 million. They're talking 65 million euros. When you convert it to pounds, about 50 million pounds. You're looking at Benjamin Sesko, the same range of 65 to 85 million euros. So you go to pounds again, is about 60 to 70 million. So when you look at all the big names now, their prices are coming down. Victor Osimhen, in terms of a transfer, if you want to rate it in pounds, is about 50 million pounds. That's not supposed to be a big deal. It is the salary that's the problem. I think that if I was Osimhen or his management, I would say, Osimhen, you know what, cut down your salary, but put some very, very incentive-based clauses. Like if I score 15 goals or 20 goals, which you believe that you can do, you will give me 2 million. Take for instance, there's a player who has a 2 million clause on certain number of goals or certain number of trophy that they win. So I mean, in Manchester United, Bruno would probably be getting 1.5 million if they win the Europa. So Casemiro also be getting some special payment if they win the Europa on Wednesday. So I think that he should put those incentive-based clauses on his contract. That's also the reason why he should choose a club that he knows that come what may, we will win the league title, or win the FA Cup, or win the Champions League or something. Not a club where he needs to not go there and then, like LeBron James in the Lakers, they need to not sign another 10 group of players to join him to make it happen. So I don't think that staying in Turkey will be good. The excitement that is created this year is fantastic, but between me and you, Turkish people are the most loving, most passionate people you would ever meet anywhere on God's planet Earth, right? They are like Italians too. But you see, that same energy with which they love you. Turkish people are like a woman.
Well.
When they love you with everything. They give it everything. That same energy is what they used to hate you.
And Kelly said what?
Yeah.
When Turkish people love, they love for you.
They love for real. And so I don't think that it should leave when the ovation is loudest. It went there. It was supposed to be a transit. Don't love your transit station so much that you
don't fall in love with the lone player.
So you're falling in love with the transit station so much now that he's forgetting that his visa is for him to live there and go for his destination. So I think that this is meant, all this drama that they are using his daughter to do announcement, all those, we've seen that before.
It's cute though.
Yes, Amokashi is the first player in the history of Turkish football that have 3 songs. They did 3 music for him. Didn't change anything. Truth is, they love you 1 minute, they will hate you the next. And people that bigger than Osimhen have been to Turkey. Georgie Hagi played for the same Galatasaray. Mario Icardi, when he first came, everybody was singing his name. Today they are doing a poll and rating Osimhen over him. But it is still Turkish league. No matter what you do, call a cat, a pussycat, or Logbo, a member of the Lions family, that they are all cats, but we know the difference between a cat and a tiger, a leopard and a lion and all that. So I don't think that putting another year will be good for Osimhen in Turkey. I want to see him play in the Champions League and have hope that they can go all the way to the finals. Not if you play for Galatasaray, even with the new format, nobody's going to expect them to go all the way to the finals. I want to see him play in a club where there is the expectation that he can match up with the people of his generation. Is great. Not just going there, play, and then they become the whipping boys and they say, oh, Osimhen tried, but the defense failed him. I don't want to hear that kind of story. Look at Farastella. If anybody had told you that Farastella will leave Napoli before Osimhen last summer, you would swear that's not going to happen. But the same Farastella that won the Italian league with him, who was the best player when he was the highest goal scorer, it's not, people are even mentioning that he should be part of the Ballon d'Or conversation. But not just that, he might be the best player of the Euros. If he goes to the finals and, put up a bank performance and score 2 goals against Inter, Farastella have come again to haunt Inter, and then he will become the best player. Osimhen will still be shouting, doing drama and dancing Kokoma dance in Galatasaray in Turkey. No, I don't think he should stay 1 more season.
Okay, let's move from one champion to another and talk about the La Liga champions, talking about Barcelona. Now the conversation is, yes, they're champions. They've done the domestic treble, their fans would like to say, but that's not the point of the conversation.
Domestic trouble now.
The point of conversation now is, we know that we have calls, especially for Rafinha to win the Ballon d'Or. Do you think that with them winning the domestic titles, do you think that their boys should still get a strong shout at it, especially if a player like Icardi goes on to Martinez, I beg your pardon, goes Icardi. He said Icardi and if Martinez goes on to win the domestic double, which includes the Champions League title, remember it's in the Champions League final, do you think that the Barcelona boys should be winning it over him? Because at the end of the day, they'll
Martinez will not win it anyway. Whatever they win, he will not win it.
They will bring up conversations like when Haaland won the treble, he ended up not winning it.
That's the same thing. Martinez have a better chance.
Golden boy.
Martinez had a better chance when Argentina won the World Cup, the Copa America, and the rest of them, the Finalissimo, whatever they call that trophy. And then he also won the league with Inter Milan, won the cup. Nobody mentioned him.
So Messi has cheated.
Messi
has cheated 2 people like this. He cheated
Martinez is not a sellable product. Just the same way, I don't think that Ballon d'Or will make a mistake twice. Last time the winner is the first ever winner of the Europa that had to go to every radio station to prove to people why he deserved to win it. That's not a trophy that even when Messi won it in 2010, that everybody say he shouldn't be winning because there was Milito for Inter, there was Wesley Sneijder for Holland and Inter, and then there was the Spanish players. Messi didn't go anywhere to go explain because his previous antecedent was good enough. Rodri was practically putting adverts everywhere. Please let me come and explain. Please, can I go to Honest Bunch and say it? Can I go to MTA? Can I? He was doing like Dino Malay. He was doing video everywhere. Like, listen, I deserve this thing. You know, I am Rodri now. I'm the one that deserves.
Yeah, I think
and I'm injury.
Too. It's not everybody who deserves it that gets this type of injury.
I hug in the dressing room.
Yeah, I do. You don't want that happening.
I think that's the thing with the award, though.
It's not sellable.
There's a place of PR. In the award, whether we like it or not,
very big.
There's a place of PR. That's why you see Pedri, Lamine Yamal, and Rafinha, 3 players from Barcelona in the front line of the conversation.
Pedri will never win it anyway.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm just saying they're in that conversation. Okay, top 10, top 5, and all that. So it's hard to say that the Ballon d'Or winner is going to be really difficult this year because Barcelona. If Barcelona had won the Champions League, then of course Rafinha would obviously get it outrightly. But you won the league alone.
I think they will cheat Yamal again. The way they did at the Euros.
Yeah,
he was the best player at the Euros.
At the Euros, for me, he was my best player at the Euros.
Yeah, they can't even give Yamal because of his goals. He has just 9 goals in the league. They can't give you with 9 goals. I'm not even sure he scored 5 goals in the Champions League. So the numbers have killed him. Although we know that the performances, eye test, and all of those things puts him there. But Rafinha is that guy. The assists, the goals he scores, and the winners. Many times Rafinha
and then
just
they come
goes
back.
ahead.
Yeah, he comes in the conversation because he brings them back to those.
Yeah, like many
wins.
times he just scores one outside footer. He just makes one shot and they are getting to win games. So Rafinha is that guy in the conversation. But outrightly, the Ballon d'Or, I think the conversation is still far ahead. I don't know if the club.
Some of the clubs. Is there any player in Paris Saint-Germain currently that stands out that could win the Ballon d'Or if they win the Champions League?
Of course, Ousmane Dembele. His form from January till now has been crazy. And that would be a treble.
Who's the player with Inter that can do it if they go on to win the league title on the final day over Napoli and then they win the Champions League?
It's going to just be Lautaro. He doesn't have the PR standard. And then maybe Madrid. Because of even Mbappe goes ahead too, because I think he's on 58 goals now.
Yes.
Goycores is also on 58 goals.
He's not
if he
gets win a trophy.
Yeah, that's the thing, but that's the side from Mbappe. But the club, that's what I'm saying. I do not know if the Club World Cup will be a factor.
The anger of Madrid last season will make
are we
the case
not
of Mbappe
considering the fact that he won the
because the calendar, the calendar of the calendar of the Ballon d'Or is from really I think it's from October now.
Yeah,
the calendar is from October till this
and next one. Let's not also forget that some of these stats that we were counting is because we feel like we're being factual, objective. People that actually vote just vote based on their feelings.
On their feelings,
they vote based on their feelings. True.
Yes.
True.
But
still, we still have the conversation.
Yamal makes me happy.
I think the biggest voting power is in the block.
Yeah.
So before you can get an accurate reading of who might win it is when you get to that final 3. So this is how it is. If Rafinha gets to the final 3, he will win it. Reason being that it will break the European vote. So let's say the final 3 is Farastella, Rafinha, and Dembele. Rafinha will win it. Reason being that the whole South American bloc will vote for him. A percentage of the African bloc will vote for him. A percentage of the Asian bloc will vote for him. Then Dembele will cut Farastella's vote. It will be Peter Obi and Atiku. Then Farastella will cut Dembele's vote. So they would divide themselves. But South America, if you check the history,
but who has the larger percentage of voters?
Europe.
Okay.
But when you cut that block, that's why only Cristiano Ronaldo have the power to cut across blocks. When people say Schneider didn't win it, I ask people, what PRO does Schneider have? They say it's football. No, it's not football. When it comes to voting, the way we have, if an Igbo man is there, I vote for an Igbo man, or if a Yoruba man, I Hausa man there. They also have it in Europe. It's just that we think that Europeans are very honest. No, they are not honest. There is the block thing that says, look, this thing gives us soft power. We must not lose it. The last time Sue won it, let's bring it home. That's why Argentina and Brazil will be rival. But if you nominate a Brazilian, all Argentines will vote. All the people voting for Argentina will vote for them. Chileans will vote for that block. Is a very united block. Once you get all that block voting Rafinha number one, the only way to break it is not nominating Lautaro Martinez and Rafinha, and then you put one European.
Then
you've
it's
already
going to
divided the block.
South
So
American
when
block,
you
yeah.
calculate the Ballon d'Or voting, and when I hear people talk about Mo Salah should win it or not, I tell
We'll
you,
not get level.
Africans don't vote well in this thing.
Yeah.
We saw the other time where 5 people representing Nigeria went to go and vote, and they said they were being objective against Asisa Toshola. Like that's the
They
most
voted
disgusting
Tabitha.
thing. They voted one Tabitha that sounded like in the name of Peter in the Bible's mother-in-law. I was like, are you people serious? Objectivity. This is where you want to be objective. When people are cutting block. Somebody, so we don't look at FIFA voting block, for instance, when they were voting for World Cup. The guy, when Platini and the French president were negotiating for France, they said Qatar must come and invest $5 billion, €5 billion euros,
and aeroplane and all of that.
and aeroplane, and then the Paris Saint-Germain deal. That's how Paris Saint-Germain fall into the hands of Qataris. The person from Nigeria, you know him, he's very popular. I don't want to mention his name.
His money they will collect.
Was looking for his money that he would just put in his pocket. That's how Pandora's box was.
France voted because they were supposed to get a deal.
Yes, oil block deal.
Yeah.
Oil business.
But we in Africa
voted
we are
for
voting because
my
of
pocket.
money. Give us
This
the money.
the guy from Cameroon voted for his pocket. The guy from the people representing Africa, that's how they vote. Let me give you another good example about voting block. We're changing the conversation about. Let me just give you this voting block. In the whole of Africa, Africa is the only continent that FIFA controls what you do, who your secretary general should be, who this should be. 2023, is it 2022, 2023? Samson Adamu was this close to being secretary general. Infantino insisted that no, I want my guy to be there. And all the people that were voting, their voting changed. Now, what's the reason? There are 54 countries in Africa. Of those 54, 50 of them, they will not eat if FIFA does not send money. Our secretary general of NFF, Sanisu Mohammed, get paid by FIFA. So FIFA can say you're working for me, you're not working for the NFF. The Nigerian interest is not important. These are some of the things that changes the block. So if they call him on the phone and say, forget what your Nigerian wants, this is what we want you to vote. That's what, who pays the piper that takes the tone. So when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, it is always the block, not really eye test or performance, unless you get that overwhelmingly crazy performance and you also fall within the block. Because in 2010, for instance, Wesley Sneijder, Milito, Iniesta, Xavi, these are the guys that are supposed to be there. But the voting from down to get to the final 3 already decided on block. And then when Messi, the magician, got there, God help you, my brother.
South Africa.
God help you.
South
It's like trying to win hosting right of this show against Joy. And you're coming to ask me. You don't lose before you ask me.
Well, talking about losing slots or losing blocks, well, there's going to be a battle of the fittest. Before we come next week, bloodbath would have happened in the EPL.
Now, bloodbath.
It's bloodbath actually because almost everyone from number 2. Everyone from number 2.
No, number 3 is secured.
Is secured, but they might not finish number 2.
No, they
No,
cannot.
Arsenal
They
have already
cannot.
finished second.
Now they've
Yeah,
guaranteed.
which is second.
Yeah, they finished second.
We beat Newcastle yesterday. Now
Nicolas medal stays with him.
Already 4
I'm not taking
points.
that back.
Nicolas medal stays with him.
Already 4 points. You want to put us for battle? We know this. Who
Who
can battle with the Lord? Who can battle with the Lord? Who can battle
I
with
say
the
nobody,
second? I say nobody. Nobody
Nah.
battles our second.
He's holding it to his chest. I like
Yes,
that,
so-
guys. Progress. Anyways,
second in treble.
the likes of Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, Bournemouth,
No, but
Nottingham Forest.
Aston Villa and Nottingham
not
Forest.
Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. All of these teams have the shot at making it to the Champions League on that final day. Now, Man City still have a game in hand. Remember that they play
on Tuesday.
They will play on Tuesday. So that result will also determine if it is going to be so much drama for them too, because you have opportunity to
66,
shoot it
66,
back into the
66.
top 4 if they get to win the game
At
on
least
Tuesday.
England will present 5.
Yeah, England that was saying bloodbath on the final day. Guys, which other 3 teams joins Liverpool and Arsenal in the Champions League? I'll start from you. No analysis. We don't have time for that. Just speak.
No analysis is hard though, because I'm looking at the games and the way they will cancel themselves out.
Okay.
It's hard not to put analysis in it. But if I'm going to pick a team, I would still stick my neck on Manchester City. I don't think that Manchester City will play in the Europa League, so I'll put my money on Manchester City. I think that Newcastle will also go. They'll beat Everton. Aston Villa will play Manchester United. But whatever, Manchester United season is already ruined, but it's the final game at Old Trafford. If they get to win the Europa League,
I think man, you care about that one.
if they get to win the Europa League, there's that place of let's play spoilers. It happens. You are playing your final game of the season at home. You just want to
Man
win.
United.
But of course, that's what I'm saying.
But they will not lose.
It's
but
hard to say
don't
okay,
say
no
because of
analysis
that.
because Aston Villa need to beat Manchester United to
Okay,
put
still
themselves in that
Bournemouth.
place. Then the biggest in it is Nottingham Forest playing against Chelsea. Both of them are in that race, so it depends on who cancels each other out. But if I'm going to pick Manchester City, Newcastle, Aston Villa, those are three. Yeah. Manchester City, Newcastle, and Aston Villa.
Michael.
I feel like City will still do it. They are playing against Bournemouth and Fulham, and then Fulham away, Bournemouth at home. I feel like they are always going to be there. And if they win, they are currently on 65. If they win both, they are currently on 65. That's 6 more points. They'll be like on 71 or something. So they should be third. For Newcastle, I feel like Newcastle will also get there. Chelsea, unfortunately, might drop. Because they're playing away to Nottingham Forest. And then Nottingham Forest, although they have like a particular atmosphere right now,
A
going
group
by
of
the
Chelsea,
whole,
former Chelsea players
yeah.
who want to hurt Chelsea.
And there's also like the whole atmosphere of everything that happened with Taiwo.
Taiwo
There's like
Awoniyi.
this camaraderie that's currently happening. They want to
Yes.
play all of that. And if you are playing the final game of the season in front of your home fans, there's a whole lot at stake. Chelsea can also turn up, on when you don't expect that they turn
Like
up.
they did
will
last
always,
season, actually.
Yeah, they always
The
like turn up
final
on the last
rounds
day.
of
But
the season.
I feel like that's where we should be looking at. For Man City, might be a done deal. Newcastle maybe. The last one will probably be between Nottingham and Chelsea.
Okay.
For me, I think I'll go straight Man City, Newcastle, and Chelsea. I think Chelsea will beat Nottingham Forest. They've had a great season. They should go deal with the Europa. It's not for their mate right now. I'm sorry, Taiwo, you're my guy, but Olaina, you're my guy, but
Why do you think Chelsea will beat Nottingham Forest?
What's man? At 2-0 it will be. 2-0.
Well, we'll come back to this conversation.
It's really
We'll go on
dramatic because
next
even a
edition.
drop would spoil things for them. So
Chelsea
the whole
would win.
conversation
Don't worry
is
yourself.
Because points for two of them.
Talking about winners, we have a winner from last week.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, but I'll be announcing it towards the end of the show. We still have other things about. So stick around to
Winner
get the
of
winner
50K.
of our 50K giveaway from
So
last
the,
week.
the
And
funny thing was that some people were naming some players' name that I was wondering that how the player that they were naming didn't
Do
play
they know
for
that they played for
one
those
of the clubs that is even posted there. Like, when you see all the clubs, okay, this one close. You name up, it's like saying, you say who has played for Sporting Lagos, Ikorodu City, Inter Lagos, and what's the other 14? No, that fake club. But then somebody now come and say Emmanuel Amonike.
Like, it was not related at all.
they're just trying their luck, man.
That try your
But
luck.
yes, you can try your luck
some
again.
answers there,
oh.
you just wonder, do these players know that they play for this particular club?
But we have another question and another giveaway that is going on today. So
Another
you can
50K.
another 50K that is up for grabs on this show. So yes, you have another opportunity to win for yourself 50,000 naira cool cash. And for our winner, I'll be contacting you. After the show. Very, very important.
We'll also still announce you at the end of the show.
Or announce it at the end of the show, so stick around. Well, let's quickly move away from that and talk about other winners. Well, the Under-20 World Cup is done, and we have South Africa as our winners, beating
Morocco.
AFCON, beating Morocco, and of course Nigeria finishing third after we defeated the home side, talking about Egypt to win the Golden Bros on penalties. Actually, it was,
Why is our bronze always golden?
no, it's like what we like to call it.
We like
But,
bros, both Super Eagles and this thing is from the top.
Yes. Now, the conversation now is, South Africa are current holders of the Under-20 AFCON for men. They are current holders of the WAFCON that's coming up in July. They are current holders now.
Yeah.
Now, the conversation is, apart from the North Africans, where we look at other places where development is coming, the only people that save us in West Africa are Senegal. Other places is always going to South Africa. Do you think that the question is, I know it sounds like a normal question, but I want us to actually talk about it. Do you think that we've been not regressing, have we been left behind? Because we've not won the Under-20 AFCON in 10 years. We had our opportunity. Some people say we played the best of our football in that semi-finals, but lost. Do you think we've been left behind, Nicolo?
Yes, I feel so. Developmental football is okay. I'm going to give an analogy. Yesterday, when I was coming back from the Sporting Lagos game, the guy that was in my ride is a football fan, and immediately he picked me. He knew that since he was picking me from the stadium, he knew like I was a football person, and just bros. an age grade competition they go on currently. Say Nigeria played today. I say yes, the under 20 boys were in action today and they got told, and it was very surprised. And then we just went into like a few minutes of discussions on how we've regressed when it comes to our players playing in age grade competition. It was like he was not even aware. Is it that because he was been working? Say no. Even when he was working before, when we used to play under 17, people would always be like aware of these things, and that's how much we've regressed when it comes to national teams, the age grade competitions. This used to be like competitions where people used to be stay awake for. Majority of us started probably our love for journalism and football through some of these age grades. It's 2008. Timothy has spoken about that before the Olympics and all of that. I remember, I think under 21 year, the likes of Ballon. In the midnight, 2 a.m., I was in my neighbor's house. We were putting TV in the backyard to watch football. So those are days, the glory days when under 17 meant a lot to us. I can still remember vividly in my memory. If there's one sharp memory, is when we won the under 17 World Cup in 2007. Late Yemi Tella and all of that. The Ajiboye State. I can remember where I was exactly.
Now church
on that
dinner, I
Sunday
come up for
evening,
church, go watch.
Sunday evening. So these are glory days. So if you the thing is that sometimes we are very emotional with topics. If you bring this kind of objective talks now, people will start reacting to it emotionally. But think about it with statistics. When last did people develop interest in the age grade competitions? And it is obviously because we've been faltering in some of these ways. Now, when we talk about development wise, we are not even anywhere. Forget that we are so talented that we still get to be competitive year in year. What are we actually doing? Nothing. When you talk about the proper development, so yeah, we're putting in plans for the next 10 years for under 17 for age grade competitions. We're not doing anything in that regard. We're just blessed as a footballing nation that 2 months to AFCON.
2 weeks.
2 weeks to AFCON. Oh, okay. Bring that marvelous boy. Timothy has a younger brother. I've seen him on the street. People are pushing by themselves. What are we actually investing into the youth football? No. So, but this is what these clubs are doing. Morocco has they opened their facility for the national teams. You understand, where they can always camp and come and play. For our under 20 boys, Katsina one day, Kaduna the next day,
Ikene
Abuja the other day, Ikene the next tomorrow. Thank God for Kunle Shoname. Where would they be camping? So these are some of the developmental. It is not about being emotional. What are the structures that we are putting in place to make sure that in the next 10 years we have the next set of players that are going to be succeeding people in the. You cannot just rely on individual brilliances. People putting in their personal efforts. The dad of Ebenezer Akot, his dad was a former player. These are personal investments. You understand? These are personal investment. This is not a national project of we are picking under 15 players, they are progressing to under 17, they are progressing to under 20. This is just what's currently going on? There's another 20 boy. Odinaka Okoro is placed for Sporting Lagos. Bring him to the camp. Ebenezer Akot. These are guys that have put in performances by themselves. This is not what is happening in some of these other places. They are putting in the work, and that's why they are beginning to overtake us. See Alozie's interview, all of their interviews that's coming up.
We're going to talk about that.
So it is not magic that South African girls won the last AFCON, the last women's WAFCON. So these are steps, and they are overtaking us. Senegal, that is carrying our region on their head, are also investing. At a point, they were AFCON champions, under 20 champions, AFCON, and all of that. It is not magic. You cannot just continue relying on vibes, players, and inshallah to go and play this tournament.
Let me jump in on this. 11 years ago, I went to the World Cup in Brazil. And in the course of, when you travel, one of the things you look at is, let's look at something that we have at par with these people. Talent-wise, we have the same talent with Brazil, but in terms of investment, we don't. So I was looking around Rio and the other places. What are they investing in, and what can we invest in? And I was doing comparative analysis. And I remember when I came back, because of what I was seeing in the IBC. For those who don't know, IBC means the International Broadcast Center, where all the media that came to cover the World Cup, what they are doing. I was still seeing Nigerian, most African journalists still taking note, doing all these things. But you see the guys from Italy, the guys from Spain, the guys from Chile, the rest, US, how they set up, how their broadcasting is working, what they are doing. And then I came back. I remember I told the company that I used to work with this thing that we call radio is dead. There is a new system that works. and it is this smartphone on the hands of every person.
Yeah.
That's where we should take our work to. Everybody looked at me in the programs meeting and laughed at me like I was drunk. Like I want to come and prove that I've traveled now. I want to come and prove that I'm better than everybody. Well, fast forward now. Who listens to radio again? I remember before, people go crazy if I don't talk on radio. I mean, I'm talking about my show is supposed to start, and I mean, I never go late, but maybe I'm doing something else in the studio, and my voice is not on the microphone. You see people calling, where's Edafe, where's Edafe? Right now, it doesn't happen for anybody. Nobody have that opportunity anymore. Dan Foster doesn't show up one day, people wants to die. You know, all this baby, everybody. So it's not just sports. Now, when you look at us, we used to use power. We just saw Charles Akuno saying that when he played for Ghana in 2020, he was 20 years old, he wasn't 17. Now, that time where we use power to add muscle people is gone. People have gone into data, statistics, science. That's why they created this MRI scan. All of those things we did not develop along the rest of the world. So South Africans have done that. Morocco, that was not on the map before, both women and youth football, they are now up there.
Yes.
We were, the right word is what you use, we're left behind. We don't have a budget that supports sports development. We don't have, take a look at Lagos. From Bonny Camp to Ekpe, there is no facility where you can train. I say to all my friends in the VI axis, if you have a talented footballer, that's your child, within VI, they cannot make it in football because there's no facility to play football. Omonile have sold all the land. Government did not make provision for anything. Sure, there's more provision for canal than for recreational or sporting facility.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of mindset as a nation, you will never make progress. It will be easy for others to run away and leave you. And then we sit one place, one Mikel Obi will sit down somewhere and say, oh, those players born abroad should not come. A time is coming when nobody will be able to play football in Nigeria. God bless people like Kole Shoname, what Shola is doing with Sporting Lagos. And I don't think Inter Lagos would last. I don't think that's a project. That one is another 1476. But those people who are really serious with the investment, God bless them for what they are doing. God bless them. You know, the ones that are not doing well will say they are not doing well. Now somebody wants to buy a Sheffield, can't honor 3 matches in Nigeria. You say that they will last, or is it the one that's leave Inter not be to get big name? Oh, let's be telling them the truth. The truth that we're not telling them. We are also the media. We're also the problem. We praise them too much. Inter Lagos not go last. There's no money. There's no money to support the project. 1476 or whatever they call themselves. From day one, I remember they called me to come and be the team manager. That I told them that this project will not last. They thought I was hating on them. That they brought tribal argument. My point is, if we don't put in all this investment, my dear, we are really left behind. We are Gbekpo right now with the carry last.
I swear.
I mean, and that is something.
And AFCON is coming that will not qualify you back to back very soon.
I mean, it has happened to the senior team, so I don't think it's going to be a shocker if we see it. Although we are going to rant about it, as it's something that's supposed to be our birthright. I'm talking about the AFCON, but let's quickly move on. As time is running past, they say time is never enough when you're having fun. Yeah. But let's quickly look at what happened over the weekend in Ikene. I promise that we're going to talk about it, so that will be our final conversation. Tell us what happened actually. Well, Mikolo was there, so Mikolo would be in some capacity to also talk about it. You did commentaries and all that, so the two of you. Okay, so let me paint the picture. On the final day, we had 6 teams that participated in the NWFL Premiership Super 6. On the final day, we had 4 teams running for the title. Bayelsa Queens, Nassau Amazons, Edo Queens, and Remo Stars Ladies. All of them could have won the title on that final day. Now, the pairings on the table, because they all played 5 games. Before that day, they had played 4 games. On the table, Nassau Amazons were top. All they needed to do was just win against Edo Queens. And then the next people were Edo Queens, who they were playing, who were defending champions, coming into that place, looking to beat Nassau Amazons and hoping that results would work for them elsewhere in Remo Stars Ladies game and of course Bayelsa Queens games. The next game was for Bayelsa Queens, who had been unbeaten through the regular season. Came into the Super 6, lost just on match day 4 against Edo Queens. They were going to play the Whooping Girls of the Super 6 in Nigeria Tales, who had never won any Super 6 game in their history. This is the second time they are participating, and they ended up not winning.
So are they getting to qualify?
Well, other teams don't do their job, just like how we talked about other teams. All of you go into the race, and then
somebody if other teams did their job in every league, Man U will be relegated. If the teams that promoted this season, if they were up to par, Man U would not relegate.
Then we had Remo Stars Ladies, who came into this Super 6 as debutants, who also had the chance to also win because they got 7 points in 4 games. They won their first 2 games, surprisingly, beating defending champions Edo Queens on match day 1, beat Nigeria Tales on match day 2, lost to Bielsa Queens, then drew against Nassau Amazons on match day 4. Now, going into all of this, we had 3 games simultaneously played on the same ground, all kicked off by 3 p.m. The game started, and the first goal was for Rivers Angels. No, Rivers Angels scored first against Remo Stars Ladies. Rivers Angels were not in contention after match day 3 because they had very terrible run in the Super 6. But they came to spoil the party for people like Remo Stars Ladies. First goal was in the 9th minute. We had goal in the second pitch because I was commenting for the first one, which was National Amazons and Edo
against the home
Queens.
team can be very intimidating.
Honestly, but I mean,
Party poopers.
that they did. They scored the first goal, scored the second goal against Remo Stars. So Remo Stars Ladies were obviously out. Now the battle was between National Amazons, Edo Queens, and Bielsa Queens. Bielsa Queens had already scored their first goal. Nigeria Tales looked as if they were going to do something. They equalized. And then drama continued.
And then I think halftime was 1-1.
After it was 1-1, we went to 2 halftime 1-1. National Amazons were back on the log. They were still goalless in their own game. But if that result had gone that way, they would have won the game. They would have won the league.
Yeah.
And then that's how Nigeria Tales capitulated and considered the second, considered the third.
Immediately the second half resumed.
First
Barrister
goal
scored.
47. Pam. Next goal. Pam. A lady got the first and only hat-trick in that particular game.
The spirit of Asawana came to the party.
Yes.
Definitely. And then it ended 4-1 in favor of Bielsa. But with that going on, remember that even Bielsa scored 21. If Nassau Amazon had won one goal to nil against Edo Queens, they would have won it.
Your destiny is in your hand. You couldn't take it.
A very funny thing happened.
But let me ask you, sorry, if it had probably ended in a place where after all the games, points equal, goal difference,
head to head,
everything, what would have happened?
Head to head. I don't think.
Head to head. It's not two games.
Head to head was what made Edo Queens second after match day 4.
Okay.
They beat Bielsa Queens.
Okay.
And that took them second. They
Because
were all
actually
on the
they
same
were
points.
on
All on the
everything.
same points.
Okay.
Both Remo Stars, everybody that were contending, apart from
final
National
day.
Amazons that had 8 points, every other team had 7 points. So the head-to-head was what took Edo Queens
to
second.
Oh, okay.
So what they needed to do was beat National Amazons with a very huge margin. Then hope that Nigeria Tales maybe beat or hold Bielsa Queens. Remo Stars Ladies play out a draw. Rivers Angels beats. So it was drama from minutes 1
calculation
to
was
final
zero.
minutes.
Calculator final day.
And then halfway into the game between Nasarawa and
Edo
Queens, the captain gets a red card.
The red card is funny red.
She had a first yellow card.
No, the yellow was immediately. She got a yellow card. And when she got a yellow card, the coach was like, okay, come off.
Yes, let's
Instead of her to go out that way, she
yeah.
wanted to go and meet somebody on the pitch to give her the captain armband. The
And
referee was
then-
like, we don't do that. It's a normal thing.
it was Bemi that was actually the referee.
Bemi, yes, Yusuf Bemsola. She's a friend to us here. She has been
She's
here.
very like, she stands her ground.
She's one of the best,
Yeah,
man.
she's one of the best.
She was like, madam, go out.
go this way.
Now the thing, I was on comment, she was like, saw it on the screen. She was giving her to that. She's going there now. She wants to go and give her. You just got a yellow a minute ago. Your coach was like, oh yeah, come out. And you are the substitute was on the stand.
Yes,
Let's
was
just
waiting to
go out that way and she'll come in. You don't even need to shake hands. Just go out. She was like, no, she wants to go and
And then
pick. She was like,
she was
she's
giving
going now.
assist, yeah.
And everyone was like, hey.
Do you
I will
think
show you.
She could not
think
control her
you think I'm here to play?
Yes,
The
she
boss.
And then she brought out the second yellow,
and
brought out
gave her the
red
red card.
and that's how the substitute went back to sit.
Heartbreak.
Nasarawa 10, Edo 11, and that definitely, I'm sure, was one of the things that cost Nasarawa Amazons because they had to play with 10 men, but they were playing better.
The very funny thing is that
They-
after the red card, they
They
started playing better. And they got
But
all of their chances.
Definitely.
They got almost 4 chances.
But
I think
one
it
player
was the
would
day.
cost
It was the
you.
day it wasn't going to happen. So no matter what happened, even if you give them extra
Rafi, they
players,
had a
wouldn't have
nod that just put your head in and it would have gone into the post.
And
And
all
then the girl
didn't
headed
happen.
it back.
it was the day that it wasn't going to happen.
Well, congratulations to Bielsa Queens because the story is
yeah.
yes, they are called Prosperity. That's their nickname, but Bielsa Queens is the name of the team. The story is they missed out on the final day drama last season
Yeah.
with Edo Queens coming to win. Edo Queens only won 1 game in that Super 6 last season and won the league. While Bielsa Queens that were winning and everything, playing out draws, because of they went to go and play draws on the final day. Edo Queens came from behind after losing one game in that Super 6, went on to win. So yes, and they missed out in front of home fans because the last one was played in Yanagwa. So Bayelsa Queens missed out, but they came back to this one and redemption for them. So congratulations to them.
I think another reason why I'm happy for them is that in this country we've seen what playoff does to a team. The fact that the playoff might be like take time after the season has ended, so you might lose all of your form. It's similar to what NNL playoff does. I've seen it play out in real time during the NNL season. Teams always play very well, and then because they take that 1 month or few weeks off, by the time they come for the playoffs, gathered in a place, they then lose their form, and that was what was about to happen to Bayelsa. Imagine going all through the regular season unbeaten, and then you just come to the playoffs, and then you're not like, do you understand? It will not have, that's exactly what I felt. So eventually they are the well-deserved champions because throughout the entire season they were unbeaten, they were invisible, and then you can't just come to the playoffs.
On that conclusion,
that's why sometimes
Manchester United will win the Europa because throughout the season they've been unbeaten,
and that's why sometimes I actually fault the playoff. I remember saying the season Sunshine Stars got into that playoff this thing too. It did not tell the story. Sunshine Stars has been a dying team for years, but because they got into that playoff, if they had probably finished third, or okay, maybe they had luckily won, people would have been, they won the league, not knowing that okay, this is a league. I'm not saying that anybody won the league that season.
I'm not saying
do you have a problem with the playoff?
No, I'm not saying I have a problem with it. I'm saying sometimes
I don't think you're the best team.
You are not the best. They qualified for the players on the last day in Ibadan.
Rules are rules.
That was
the German
I remember that.
In the yes, no.
I'm just saying that sometimes it doesn't really tell.
They stabbed me in the back. I'm still hurting. Make me lose all the money.
It doesn't really tell the real story.
No, but let me explain this. In the German Bundesliga.
Okay, let's look at Genk in Belgium. They were unbeaten through the season. Tolu was scoring, but in the playoff, I don't know if the playoff is done. I wish Mano was here, but I know that in the playoff they really had. They can't win the league anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Like it really doesn't tell the story.
Not changed during the season.
No, I'm not. I know. I'm just saying.
The story continues.
Yes,
it's your job to continue the story.
For us to continue this story, let's give you maybe the most important for this person that won the giveaway.
The winner.
Our winner for last week giveaway is Alamu Samson. Congratulations
I thought
to
our producer will put it on the screen.
Yeah, I think there's something. Yeah,
okay.
It's up now.
So that's our winner for the 50,000 naira.
This guy
giveaway that was done last week. We'll reach out to you, contact you after the show. Of course, your email is connected to your YouTube account, so definitely we'll be reaching out to you.
If you watch this one, you know that, so you already know that you.
Of course, and this week again, we have another opportunity for you to win another 50,000 naira. And the question is, identify the player, identify the club, and this is a question for this week. For you to win 50,000 naira,
who's this player?
Who is this player? So yes, identify the player, and we would definitely. This
one is simple anyway.
Well, you think it's simple?
Yeah, but this one is simple. Come on, this one is easier. 6 clubs, very popular. It's simple. Okay,
we'll get to reveal our winner next week. But very, very great news for lovers of the gliders. We have very great news for you. We would be doing a watch along of the Champions League final in the studio, so you can watch the Champions League final with us on the 31st of May.
Come with your interjerseys.
I'm thinking about it. Who will I support Osimhen because of Timothy? Maybe I don't know. Maybe if he bribes me by that time, I'll think about it.
No problem.
And support Inter Milan.
I don't want to think what I'm thinking on Timothy. But let's leave it first.
But that's where.
See, Mikolo will be here one day. Timothy will come on this show and propose to Joy.
I never reached that level now.
I'll be not like this. Can we?
No, I like it. Let's be professional.
So proposing to Joy is not professional.
Let's be professional on this show.
Let's move on.
Proposing to Joy is not professional.
But why is the child?
Let's stop that.
Guys.
He's a professional.
Before they set me up, let's call it.
It's part of it.
It's not professional, but let's do what we are supposed to do on the show.
That's part of it now. That's part of it.
He said he's going to address that one outside.
No, address it on the show. Please, if you want us to continue asking Timothy this question
before we leave the show, yes, there's something that we discussed outside, and I want it to be on camera. We were asked. something came up,
Huh?
and then we're
Joe,
talking
do you
about
think
yes,
you did-
yes.
No,
No,
let's-
he did it not to me as man back.
Let's
Your
end the show.
payback.
Let's end the
It's
show.
payback now.
You want the paper?
Yes, let's pay back.
Joy, let's end the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, guys, please. I want you guys to answer the question. I'm not going to throw anybody on that bus. Let me be nice. I want you guys to answer the question in the comment section. Which hand do you use
So wipe.
to wipe? Yes, is it your
No,
left hand
that is it.
or your right hand?
That's not the question.
Or let me say to Yoruba, or left in Tumba. Which hand do you use to do it? Left or right? There's an argument in this studio today, so let's know. The
And-
next
and some
edition of
people's
the
People who
goat.
don't understand
Some people's
Yoruba.
goat
Some people's
on
goat.
the wrong side.
Some people who
Some
don't
people's
understand
goat is on
Yoruba.
the wrong side.
When I said wipe, we already said wipe. Tumba is
Wipe, like slap somebody.
no. Which hand do you use to wash your butt when you go to the toilet? That's
No,
it.
that wasn't the question. No.
Yeah.
What's the question?
No, that wasn't the question. So
They are
now
exposing
everybody knows that
themselves
one
now.
is left now.
Hey!
Hold on. Are you-
Hey!
you were not-
Guys, let's end the show.
Let's end the show. Joy,
Let's just end the show. We don't need analysis on this. Thank you.
The
Thank you guys for joining us.
analysis
Do you
that
use
the analysis that
unconsciously to go down under? That was the question.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the place you guys paid me for. My
Not
money,
when you go and
my
do
money
job.
don't expire. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and thank you so much for always joining. Last week was beautiful. We saw all your comments. Ugh, they've cut me off.
Producer, take back.